Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas First Outdoors tips of the day. We're continuing our review of the Total Deer Hunter, and we are on skill number 63, Track the Rut. The timing of rut phases isn't perfectly predictable by any means, but it helps to know generally when to start looking for signs. So what we're going to go through here are the typical rut dates for most, and these are northern states, so you got to kind of shift them a little bit out. So to customize it, you want to call your regional wildlife agency, and that's where you can kind of pinpoint your area's peak, but you pretty much know that probably down here in the different areas of Texas, although different areas of Texas obviously are much different, because Texas is so big. It covers such a wide range of weather, deer sizes, deer habitat, etc. But in general, this more or less covers, North America, with dates here to the north and the south of this. So the first phase is the seeking phase, which you kind of talked about yesterday. So that's about 2 weeks prior to the peak breeding, and that's typically end of October, kind of. End of October to beginning of November, and bucks are on their feet more, seeking females. And the sure sign is the explosion of new rubs and scrapes. So more buck sightings. So go back to when we talked about rubs and scrapes and what that means and how to help you. Second phase, chasing phase. So this is about 1 week before the peak of breeding. So this is, beginning to mid-November. The first does are coming into estrus, and bucks are more than ready. And then the sure signs are you'll see bucks chasing doe, obviously, during the chasing period. Number 3 is the peak breeding period. Now, this is where you really want to kind of consult your regional biologist. Typically, it's mid to end of November, kind of down here, I guess. But depending on where you are, it could be anywhere in that kind of range. Most does are in estrus, and bucks are tending to them. How do you know? Well, deer movement slows way down. When seen, bucks are with does. Pardon me. So the number 4, the immediate post-rut. So it's 1 week after the start of peak breeding. That's the end of November, probably in the south, maybe beginning of December. And breeding is mostly done, but mature bucks still vie for the last receptive doe. And how do you know? Well, what are the signs? Well, doe reappear at food sources, and bucks freshen rubs and scrapes. Then you have the post-rut, which is about 2 weeks after the start of the peak of breeding. So that could be usually definitely the end of November, beginning mid of December. Breeding is done for now, and bucks return to the core areas and feed. And then the sure signs are that bucks hit prime food sources during the daylight in cold weather. And then you have the last phase, the secondary breeding phase. So that's about 1 month after peak breeding. So probably mid-December, Christmas time here in the south. Unbred does enter estrus again, and doe fawns and yearlings come in for the first time. What are the sure signs? Well, big bucks chase doe and fawn near winter food sources. So fresh scrapes appear. So there you can kind of know, the more you're out there, the more you kind of remember and what the phases are at your particular land. They did do a little poll here of readers. It said the best phase to hunt. So it said if you could hunt any phase of the rut all the time, which would it be? Which phase gives you the best shot at taking a good buck? And the way it broke down was 36% of people said the seeking phase. The 49% of people, the highest percentage, said the chasing phase. The lowest was 5%, the peak breeding phase. And then the second to lowest was 10% at the post-rut phase. So what phase do you think is the best phase to hunt? Where have you had the most success in the past? The seeking, chasing, peak breeding, immediate post-rut, secondary breeding? Any of those suit your fancy? Would be interesting to hear. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. That was your Texas First Outdoors tip of the day. We're going to leave you with that one and hope that your deer season had gone fine and you're starting to make note of some of these tips for upcoming deer season and implement something. Maybe it'll get you on your trophy. We certainly hope it does. If we could be just one tiny piece of a nice trophy hunt, that would be pretty cool. But anyway, thanks so much for listening to your Texas First Outdoors tips of the day. Check out feedbandit.com. Take a look at our gear, our shirts, and our hats over there. Guarantee there's something you might like. Anyway, take a look. We really appreciate it. And for now, y'all take care. See you on the next one.